dive, taking the arms up. Hello, beautiful people. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I was thinking that we would do a leg and glute dominated power class today. So we're gonna get moving, we're gonna get sweaty. It'll probably be a little bit shorter of a class, but it should be a lot of fun. Let's start by finding our mountain pose. Taking ankles under knees, under hips, we'll pick the toes up, spread them out wide and set them back down. A single roll back and down through the shoulders, closing the eyes. Taking a few deep breaths here as we press down through the toes. With our inhale, taking the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the waist, finding our forward fold. With an inhale, finding our half high, nice flat back, taking the eyes out in front. Exhale, folding forward again. Grabbing for opposite elbows, we'll find a sway to the body. Dropping the hands down in front, putting as much of a bend as you need so we can soften the chest towards the thighs. Bringing the fingertips down in front. We'll scoot the left hand in towards center with an inhale, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling, and we'll press down through the right leg. Exhale, coming back through center. Trading the left for the right. With a big inhale, taking the left arm up, pressing down through the left leg. And another exhale, comes back through center. We're gonna heel toe the feet out. This can be twice the size of our normal hips distance or whatever feels comfortable, but taking the feet parallel, we'll find a wide-legged forward fold here. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no, releasing out the upper body, allowing yourself to hang here. Walk the hands over towards the left foot. Walking through center towards the right foot. Coming back through center. And we're going to do that some more. But if you would like, this time we can let the arms hang, or we can continue to walk back and forth. Dropping the chin towards the chest and finding a sway side to side. And bringing the hands back to center. We will heel toe our feet in about half the distance. Heels in towards center, toes pointed away. Finding a squat here. So adjusting the hips however feels right so that we can soften the tailbone down behind us. We can take the hands out in front to be our little kickstand, or bring the hands into center to help stabilize, press the hips apart. And dropping the hands down in front of the body, shifting the weight forward, extending the legs with a reverse swan dive, taking the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. And we'll find our star pose, taking the toes away from the body, opening through the chest, taking the arms wide. And bringing everything back in towards center. We'll make our way up to the top of our mat. Finding that mountain pose again, pressing down through the feet. With a big inhale, taking the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down, putting as much bend into the legs as you need. We're gonna pick the left leg up off the mat, extending it back behind us, pulling it in towards the body, taking it to the outside of the right knee. So the knees are kind of hugging in together, and extending it back out. In, and extending out. 2 more times like this, pulling in, and extending back out. 1 more, pulling in, extending back out, dropping the left foot down. Full breath in, even larger breath back out. Dropping the left knee down to the mat, untucking the back toes. As an inhale, we'll sit tall, shifting the hips forward. Exhale, shifting the hips back, lengthening through the front leg, and finding half splits. You can keep the hands down on the mats beside you to help with balance if you'd like, or you can make them flow with the movement. But we're gonna move back and forth with the breath. Exhale to our half splits. Inhale to our low lunge. Inhale, coming back to our low lunge, dropping the left hand beside the right foot, taking the right arm up to the ceiling, a gentle twist. With our exhale, bringing the right hand in, and we'll find a lizard pose. So bringing both hands to the inside of our leg. We can let the knee fall away from the body, rolling out to the outer edge of the foot. We can walk that front foot out further to the edge of the mat, or any variation in between. Focusing on softening through the hips, keeping the spine nice and long. Heel toeing that foot back in towards center, framing it out with the hands, tucking the left toes under. We're gonna pop us up onto the right foot, bringing the knee in across to the right side, extending back out, in and across, and back out, in and across, and back out, holding here. Good. Left foot steps in, inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down, again, putting as much bend in the legs as you need to. We'll extend the right leg back behind us. Pulling the knee in, crossing the left. Extending back out, pulling in, extending back out, in and across, and back out. 1 more, in and across, back out, stepping the right foot down, full breath in. Even larger breath back out. We'll drop the right knee down. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Tucking the tailbone, shifting forward, low lunge. Exhale, hips go back behind, half splits. Moving back and forth with the breath some more. tall to the ceiling. Right hand comes down beside the left foot. Left arm reaches tall, a little bit of a twist. Exhale, left hand comes back in, finding our lizard pose again on this side. You can let the foot fall out to the outer edge. You can walk it out further, whatever feels right. Heel toeing the foot back in, framing it out with the hands, tucking the right toes under. We'll pop us back up on that left leg, bringing the right in and across, and back out. In and across, and back out. In and out. In and out. In and out, holding here. And then bringing the right foot back in. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands down in front of us. Taking the left leg back behind. Holding here. Dropping the left toes down. Inhale, finding our warrior one. Lifting tall to the ceiling, opening up towards our left side, finding a warrior two. Feet are now perpendicular. And we're going to find some isometric movements, some isolation here. So with both legs, we're gonna press out like we're going to rip the yoga mat in half. Sending all of our energy into pushing the feet and legs away from each other. And an exhale, softens. Back to our warrior two. This time pulling in with everything we've got. Engaging through the legs from the toes all the way up to the core, pulling everything in. And an exhale to soften. Good. Back to our neutral warrior two. Our back foot, we're going to turn it a little further away from the body. Extending out with our front leg, bringing hands to center. Exhale, squatting down towards the left leg. Inhale, back to our neutral warrior two. Exhale, squatting towards that left leg. Inhale, warrior two. Back and forth with the breath. Holding here at the bottom of our squat. You can drop the hands down if you'd like, or keep them lifted. Pressing down through the left leg. And back to our neutral warrior two. Continuing to press down through the outer edges of both legs. And we'll extend out through the front leg again, sending the hips back behind us. Our front arm reaches out in front, and we'll drop the right arm down to the mat, taking the left arm up high. Say hi to Scooby. With our next float the body back up. Picking up those front toes, turning them in towards center or in to match the left. We'll bring heels in towards center, toes pointed away from each other. Tucking the tailbone, so we have a nice long spine from the top of the head all the way down through the tailbone. We're gonna drop straight down like we're sitting in a chair. Finding our goddess pose or our crab pose here. Let's keep the arms down or at heart center for this round. Beautiful. We're going to lift one heel up off the mat and set it back down. Lift the other heel up off the mat and set it back down. Making our way back and forth each side, lifting the heel up and back down. We can continue doing one foot at a time, or we can do both feet at a time. A little extra challenge with the balance aspect, or we can just keep going with our one at a time. Either way, it's an amazing workout, and you will start to feel it on the inner thighs. Okay, coming back through center. Rechecking that posture, tucking the tailbone, sitting tall, softening lower. Good. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling, extending out through the legs. Exhale, squatting down. Inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, squatting down. Continuing with the breath here. Back to our star pose, taking the arms wide, lifting the chest. So bringing the hands back in. Heel toeing the feet in. We'll wiggle out through the body and make our way back up to the top of the mat. With a nice big inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Putting a bend to the knees. We'll take the right leg back behind us, hold. Good, dropping the right foot down. Inhale, reaching tall, warrior one. Lifting up, pivoting towards our right side, warrior two. Again, with those isolated movements, pressing out with both legs. We're gonna rip the yoga mat in half. Engaging through all the tiny muscles up the legs. And exhale to soften. That doesn't look like much, but it feels like a lot. This time pulling in with everything we've got. Like we're gonna bunch the yoga mat up underneath of us. And then exhale to soften. Coming back to our warrior two. Turning those back toes a little further away from the body. Exhale, squatting down to the right leg. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, squat. Back and forth with the breath. back to our neutral warrior two. Extending out with the front leg, sending the hips back behind, reaching the right arm out, left arm out in front before finding our side angle. Inhale, floating us back up through center, picking up those left toes, turning them towards our right toes, heels in towards center, toes point away, tucking the tailbone straight down to our goddess pose. This time find a little sway side to side. Coming back through center, softening a little bit lower. We can hold still here, or you can find a little bit of a pulse, bouncing a little up and down, pressing down through the toes, keeping the spine nice and long. Exhausting. Extending out through the legs, opening through the arms, star pose. Bring the arms back down, wiggling out through the body as we come in towards center. We'll make our way to the back of the mat. Inhale, finding a reach tall to the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the waist, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Put a bend to the legs, dropping the hands down in front. Pressing up and back through the hips, down through the heels. We'll walk the hands one step further out in front. Sending the hips up and back behind us, down through the heels. Another step out in front. Pressing up and back and down. Another step out in front. Sending the hips up and back, pressing down. And another. Making our way all the way to our plank pose. And spreading the fingertips out nice and wide. Pressing down. We'll shift forward slightly, elbows in, and a chaturanga to lower. Releasing the toes, squeezing the glutes, inhale to cobra. Exhale, soften. Tucking the toes, pressing up and back, down dog. We'll wiggle out through the legs. Sending the left leg back behind us. We're gonna bend at the knee, pulling that knee all the way towards the left elbow. Sending the leg back, three-legged dog. Pulling the knee in towards the nose. And back, three-legged dog. Pulling it across to the right elbow. We're gonna kick out with the side of the foot, setting it down on the mat, dropping the right heel down, and lifting the hips tall to the ceiling. With an exhale, dropping the hips down towards the mat. Big breath. Inhale, lifting the body back up, bringing the right hand down to the mat, and sending the leg behind us. Dropping the foot to the mat, we'll walk the hands in towards the feet. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half high. Exhale, fold, walking the hands out to our plank. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide, shifting forward, chaturanga lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, soften. Tucking the toes, pressing up and back. Right leg extends back behind us. Bending at the knee. Driving the knee towards the right elbow. And back, three-legged dog. In towards the nose. And three-legged dog. And across towards the left elbow, giving the foot a kick out towards the side, dropping the left heel, lifting the hips tall to the ceiling. Exhale, dropping the hips down to the mat. Whew, big breath. Pressing down through the hand, lifting the hips. Bringing the left arm back around. And the right leg up to the ceiling. Dropping it down. Down dog. Good. Lugging the hands one step closer in towards the feet. We'll put a bend to the knees, hovering them over the mat. And dropping in the rest of the leg. Untucking the toes, finding a tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. With an inhale, we'll take the eyes and the tailbone up to the ceiling, dropping the center. Exhale, curling in towards center, arching back through the spine. Moving back and forth with the breath. Coming back to our tabletop. We're going to take the left leg back behind us, pointing the toes. Option to stay here, or take the right arm out in front. With our exhale, elbow and knee pull in together. Inhale to lengthen and extend. Exhale in together. Inhale to extend. Continuing with this, moving with the breath. Extending out with the arm and the leg, holding here. Bring the arm in, the leg in. I'll wiggle out through the hips, through the spine. And then take the right leg back behind us. And again, option to take the opposite arm, the left arm, out in front. Exhale, bringing elbow and arm in, or just leg in. Inhale to extend. Again, back and forth with the breath. Holding here, extending out with the arm, pointing with the toes. Bringing the arm in and the knee. I'll take the knees to the outer edges of the mat, bringing the big toes until they touch, sending the hips back towards the heels, and finding a wide-legged child's pose. lifting the body back up and finding our tabletop again. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Extending the left leg back behind us. We're going to point the toes up towards the head. Taking the knee out towards the left side of the body. And bringing the toes up towards the head. Knee comes forward. Opens to the side. Toes come up towards the head. Knee comes back down. So we're kind of making a circle with the hip. Bringing it in, out, up, and down. Dropping the left knee down, wiggling out through the hips some more. Okay, other side. Right leg goes back behind the body, pointing the toes up to the head. Taking the knee out to the side, bringing the knee in towards the body, reaching the toes up towards the head. Again, finding these big hip circles, looping around. Bringing the right knee in. We'll tuck the toes under behind us, taking the hands one step further out in front, sending the hips up and back behind down dog. Shifting forward to our plank pose. Spreading the fingertips out nice and wide. Shifting forward slightly, exhale, chaturanga lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to soften. We're going to take the forearms out in front of the body, dropping them down to the mat. We can drop the forehead to the mat here or keep it lifted looking down at the hands. But we're going to try and target the gluteus minimus, smallest glute muscle in the body. It is often overpowered by the gluteus maximus, of course. So it's kind of hard to find it, kind of hard to target it, and that's why it's so important to do so. So either taking the hands, the head towards the hands, or looking down at the hands. We're gonna lift the left leg. It's not gonna be much, so if you're rotating the hips, you're doing too much, and the gluteus maximus or the back are taking over. So keeping the hips down, keeping the rib cage down, lifting the left leg, softening it back down. Left leg lift, and back down. Continuing like this. Lifting and lowering. And switching sides, picking up the right leg, setting it back down. Good. Bring the hands to either side of the body, just out past the shoulders. With our inhale, we'll find a Superman, lifting the arms and the legs up off the mat. Holding here. 2 and 3. Pulling the shoulders in towards the spine. Lifting the legs. Exhale to soften. Inhale, lifting Superman. And an exhale to soften. Alright, one more time, finding our Superman. Lifting the arms, lifting the legs. Exhale to soften. We'll bring the forearms down in front of the body, palms facing the floor. Lifting tall through the top of the head, finding our Sphinx pose, pressing down with the tops of the feet. Bringing hands under shoulder blades. Tucking the toe, pressing up and back, down dog. Extending the left leg back behind us. Pointing the toes up towards the head. Left knee comes to left elbow. And back. Left knee comes to center. And back. Left knee comes to right elbow. And back. And again to the left wrist. We'll drop the leg down and soften back through the hips. We're finding our pigeon pose here. So if you'd like a little bit more stability, you can always grab a pillow, put under the hips, or a block or a book, something that we can kind of put some weight on. Here we can stay up tall in our pigeon pose, or we can find a sleeping pigeon, taking both forearms down to the mat and taking the forehead to the top. With an inhale, lifting the chest back up, framing out the front knee, tucking the back toes. We'll lift the left knee up to the chest and back to our three-legged dog. Setting the left leg down, resetting through the hips, pedaling out the legs. Taking the right leg back behind, bending at the knee, bringing it to the right elbow, and back. In towards center, and back, across to the left elbow, and back, and then up to the right wrist, setting the leg down, and softening through the hips, finding our pigeon pose on this side. Again, we have an option to grab a pillow or a block to sit underneath our right side. Walking the hands in towards the chest to help lift us tall and proud in this pose. Option to stay here. Or you can find our sleeping pigeon again, bringing the forearms down and softening the forehead to the top. Inhale, lifts the chest back up. framing out the right knee, tucking your left toes under. Right knee comes to the chest and back, three-legged dog. Softening the foot back down, wiggling out through the hips. Sending the hips up and back behind us, pressing down through the heels. Remember, you can always put a bend to the knees here. Bending further through the knees, hovering them over the mat, finding our bear pose. And dropping them the rest of the way down. Untucking the toes, walking the hands in. We'll sit tall on the heels for just a moment. Taking the hips one side, circling the legs around the other. Scooting in towards the middle of our mat. Oh, I'm on a squeaky part of the floor again. That's better. Alright, taking the arms on either sides of the legs. We'll find a boat pose. Setting the upper body back. Lifting the legs off the mat. And we'll hold here. Exhale, softening the body down to the mat. Lift the hips up, rolling them under and setting them back down. So we've gotten rid of the space in the low back. Picking the legs up off the mat. We'll take the calves parallel with the floor. Extending the left leg out in front, lowering it all the way down to the mat. Popping it back up, and we'll pull it back in. Right leg extending out, softens down, pulls back up and in. Continuing like this, back and forth with the legs. This can also be done just dropping the toes down if you don't want to extend the legs all the way out. Good. Hugging both knees into the chest. Maybe rocking and rolling side to side. We'll drop both feet down towards the mat again. Taking the left leg up, crossing it across the right leg. About halfway. Finding a figure four, flexing through both feet to give the knee a little extra space, protecting our knees always. We'll reach between the legs, grabbing for the right leg, pulling it in. You can gently push the left knee away if you'd like, or just focus on pulling the legs in towards the body. Releasing the right leg, setting it back down. We're going to scoot it over towards the left a little ways. With our next exhale, we're going to drop both legs over towards our right side. Feeling a little bit of a twist here. Arm can open up towards the left side, eyes can follow it. twisting the body. Walking the right foot back in towards center. Taking the left leg out and softening it down. Right leg goes up, crossing the left, flexing the feet. Looping the arms through to grab for that left knee, hugging it into the chest. Let go of the left leg, setting it down, scooting it over towards the right side, and then bringing both legs across the left. Opening the arm towards the right side, letting the eyes follow. Doing a little twist. Bringing both legs back up and twisting the body, releasing the right leg, setting it down. And we'll find a nice comfortable spot, allowing the body to soften. If you'd like to grab any props, like any pillows or blankets, you can pause the video and do that now. We're going to find our Savasana, or our corpse pose. Closing the eyes. Taking a big breath in through the nose. Releasing it out as a sigh. Their next exhale, allowing the body to soften further. Getting just a little bit more comfortable. Maybe getting a little heavier towards the mat. Repeating this with each exhale, noticing how the body naturally wants to soften, wants to sink towards the mat. We'll allow it as we fully release the breath out. Inhaling fresh new air. Again, as we exhale, allowing the body to soften further. Find stillness other than that softening. The inhale of each breath. Just focusing on the exhale. Letting everything or anything that is not currently serving you go. And as we grow a little heavier towards the mat. Each breath in through the nose and releasing it out as a sigh. Whenever you feel ready, go ahead and roll to one side. We'll take our moment of gratitude here. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for taking this time out of your busy day to refocus, to recenter and realign through the body, for taking this time to focus on the peace and the stillness that you can create, as well as the strength and the power that's always inside of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. Go in love and light. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.